Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. Call loyalty Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the true rulers and leaders of Israel today. Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, Wahawa Ka Kurash Barakatham. To you true and sincere Akim. Also to you confusion of faces out there who is scattered amongst the other nations, who looks as the other nations, but are indeed Israelites. All right. And you Aquafs that's out there, okay? Because we are not a black extremist group. We're just men who identify with knowing that we are the children of Israel that the Holy Bible speak of. All right. So today I just wanted to get into a little lesson about what's going on with America and China and their trade war. All right. I've had this lesson for about like a day or two. I'm not going to lie. But now I have the time to actually, settle down and be able to do the sit down because it's been on my mind heavy and I've been wanting to do this sit down. So without further ado, I'm going to let this clip play and then we're going to get into some scriptures. All right.
China has sold $3 billion in United States bonds. It's the latest escalation in the trade war between the largest two economies. RT correspondent Dan Cohen has the story.
Many Americans know that China is the largest foreign holder of U.S. debt. And on Saturday, the Chinese Finance Ministry revealed it sold $1.5 billion worth of 5-year bonds at 3.25%, $1 billion worth of 10-year bonds at 3.5%, and $500 million worth of 30-year bonds at 4%. It's the third time Beijing has sold U.S. bonds in the last 14 years and comes after the U.S. stock market suffered its worst crash in months, dropping by 3% overnight on October 10th. On Sunday, President Trump said in an interview he might impose a third round of tariffs and what he called his good relationship with President Xi may not last.
See, it just told you just on October 10th that the stock market had crashed and dropped to like 3%, and this is Esau, man, trying to save his kingdom. Because at one point in time, as it tells you in Obadiah, they believed that their kingdom would last forever, man. They rule forever. Okay. And China right now is basically, poking games at them saying, we got so much of you guys money. You got so much of you guys in debt. You guys are so in debt to us that, hey, we can just sell you guys whatever. We can sell your debt to other nations, man, to where now you're being debt into them nations. You had to pay us, but now you have to pay them,
We cannot continue to have China take $500 billion a year out of the United States in the form of trade and other things. And and I said we can't do that, and we're not going to do that anymore.
The Trump administration has already levied $250 billion in tariffs on thousands of items, including industrial goods, furniture, and electronics. China countered with $60 billion of its own tariffs on U.S. goods ranging from textiles and computers to meat and wine. And in recent weeks, President Trump has escalated rhetoric against China, accusing Beijing of meddling in the 2016 election that brought him to power. Reporting in Washington, Dan Cohen, RT.
For more, we turn to former CFTC Commissioner and host of Boom Bust here on RT, Bart Shelton. Bart, thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you, Scotty.
Okay, so what is the significance of the $3 billion bond sale off by China?
This is, the third they've done.
I just want to say, this is a real live Edomite, man. Look at this man.
And in 14 years, but they did one last year. It was about $2 billion, so this is a little bit larger, but it wasn't a great time to be selling bonds because of what you reported and what Dan was talking about, that they had this huge crash globally that we've been covering, and particularly in China, both the Shanghai Composite and the Shenzhen, which is their NASDAQ, their tech-heavy markets, were down. So they made some money, but not a lot. They didn't sell this for profit. I think it was more sort of a finger in the eye of the U.S., given the ongoing trade tariff tantrums.
Well, it's interesting, the finger in the eye, because the Chinese ambassador to the U.S. said on Sunday that it was very confusing dealing with President Trump on trade. I'm sure he joins a long list of world leaders that say that as well. Noting that diplomats from throughout the world aren't sure who is advising Trump on trade. And is this what we expect from Trump when it comes to economic policy, especially when dealing with the Chinese?
I think so. I mean, we've talked before about whether or not, there's some double secret strategy here. And even though, some might say, oh, that's bad. Look, if it works, it works. Henry Kissinger, when he was dealing with the North Vietnamese, said, watch out for this madman Nixon, my boss, the president of the U.S. He could do something really horrible. So you could have...
Man, Esau going about threatening, hey, if it works, it works. This is the mindset of Esau, man. He don't give a damn about what he's doing to the other nations and whatnot. If it works, man.
President Trump just out there positioning in order to try and get a deal. But I'm not sure that's what's going on, but trying to put a good face on it for the president, that could be one strategy.
Well, good cop, bad cop is kind of what I feel on this. But now the ambassador added that it was the U.S. who started this trade war. Obviously, President Trump's going to come back and say, actually, it was the China that started it, the conflict with their unfair trade policies and by creating a massive trade imbalance. Does this kind of work? Does that resonate? Does it actually help the argument and try to get this thing to come to some sort of resolution?
I think they're nowhere near coming to a resolution now. I think they're talking past each other, Scotty. The bottom line is that the U.S. consumes about 30% of all things that are made all over the planet. 30%. We only produce ourselves 13%. So we're going to buy a lot of stuff. And that's going to continue. And China makes a lot of that stuff. And we want that stuff. We want the toys. We want the electronics.
And we want it at a low price.
And we want it at a low price. Right. And they make it at a low price. You're absolutely right. And so when we talk about bringing back jobs to the U.S., I'm not sure we want those jobs of sitting for 12 hours a day, putting a little chip into, an iPhone all day without a restroom break.
And so that's basically what they're saying China is going through. China is basically known for sweatshops. And, they got employees and workers 12 hours, like he said, no restroom breaks, just, implementing chips. So this is what America is buying out of China, man. The Chinese are actually, the American slaves in a sense.
That's not jobs I want to make America great. But there are other things that can be done. I think we are nowhere close to an agreement on this. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope this crazy sneaky strategy works.
Well, one example has been in the automotive industry, and the Ford Motor Company shot back reports of massive restructuring due to this supposedly recent tariff war that started. The company is restructuring, saying that the global salaries positions are the ones being laid off. It will not be cutting any of their regular hourly employees or manufacturing positions. The car company has lost roughly, I think it's about $1 billion since the start of this trade war. How do these tariffs and the escalating trade war affect American manufacturers like Ford? Is this kind of just a cover to try to make things soften the blow in their relationship with the president?
Well, Ford is one of the first to actually put a number on it, and we've talked before about when we might see some sort of impact, because there's a lot of anecdotal stuff. Hey, my beer costs more money, my cars are going to be $150 more. Well, I mean, in a $30,000 car is, $150, that much, would you even notice it? The bottom line is that a lot of these numbers will start to come in as we get into the end of the year, and particularly when we get into next April. That's the end of the earnings report for the Q1, the first quarter of next year. That's when I think if we don't have some answers, some agreements with China in particular, they're really going to start having the rubber hit the road, and we're going to see some negative impact, not just on the overall economy, but on some big names, and Ford may be one of the first.
And this is why everybody should be watching Boom Bust, because you definitely bring reality to the markets. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Scotty.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's One of...
So basically what they were saying in a nutshell, the economy is crashing. Okay. This trade war with China is going to escalate, and it's going to cause them to either come to an agreement, or America is going to go all out, as they always do when they can't have it their way. And Ford is going to be laying off a lot of people, man. Okay, Ford is going to be firing a lot of people. A lot of people And you know it's so crazy because you know I'm a brother that's in Great Millstone, Indiana, but I live in Chicago, and when I go to work in Chicago Heights, I pass the Ford's Motor Company, and the Ford's Motor Company is actually like a staple in that community. Like from what I was told, you know, Ford Motors was actually the company that saved that whole community from being in poverty. You know, even when you drive in Chicago Heights, it's like potholes and things everywhere. It's raggedy as ever. But Ford Motors is what kept that city alive. You know, that little suburb. But without further ado, man, this is Ecclesiastes, and I'm gonna start at 12. Sirach, chapter 12. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Right, because you know, for a while now, you know, the Lord has just been letting the men of the Lord be in a slumber. All right. And so now we're all coming into the fruition of knowing that we're Israelites. And this is the year of prophecy. So in this year of prophecy, you know, in the years beforehand, there's been a lot of prophesying going on. Hey, telling you the things that's going to happen. And a lot of things that's been coming in fruition right now this year and in the past years, man. But slowly but gradually coming to play. And it says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. Because in the scriptures, it tells you that there's going to be a blood moon. All right. It tells you that that the clouds, that the sun was going to be blocked out, you know, because of the smoke from the thermonuclear missiles, man. All right. It was going to be all out chaos, right? It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. So the Lord is saying, hey, turn back unto me before these things, man. And right now, you know, we're almost entering into the point where them doors are going to be shut, man. All right. And the Lord is not going to be accepting anymore cries and pleads anymore, man. So right now you got to get it. Hey, like the brother said, the brother Matthias said, you got to get it while it's hot, man. You know what I'm saying? Because in a minute, man, it's going to be a famine in the streets, and you're not going to have this word, man. They already tried shutting down YouTube for a bit of a second, man. They shut down YouTube. So hey, that's the way that people can learn and communicate throughout the whole world, man. YouTube, through all the videos and whatnot. And without them videos, man, hey, that's a window that's gonna be shut down. And not only is it's these companies and these companies and you know, these your jobs and whatever you may work at is gonna cease. Also, the teaching of the Lord is gonna cease, man. There's not gonna be any prophets out here prophesy, man. All right, because once these things happen, hey, we know we've done our job, and then from there it's to see is if the Lord is going to accept us or not, man. You know, from there is dealing with temptation, man. That great hour, man. All right, and it says, and the door shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the doors of mute shall be brought low. So, and it says also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. All right. And, you know, a lot of this is happening, and you know, this is the Lord preparing, you know, that tariff war with China for the you know, for Armageddon, man. For the day of judgment, you know, because for the day of judgment to come, hey, everyone that was in cahoots with this kingdom has to turn from her and hate her. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna grab that scripture. This is Revelations chapter 17, verse 15. It says, "And he saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." And because at one point in time they was in cahoots with this whore, man. Everybody loved this whore, man. In Revelations 18, it tells you how the merchants wept, over the burning and the destruction of this place, man. So everybody's gonna turn against this whore, man. Why? Because this whore is unfair. And what she laid in bed with all of them to get what she wanted. And it's come to a point where she crossed them, and then like a man who's caught his wife cheating, they want vengeance, man. America has been cheating the whole world like for forever, man. And this place is going down. All right. It says, "For the power hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the power shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest in that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth." Salaki, I said that wrong. "And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth." This is America, man. Great Babylon is America. All right. And the as you can see, man, the season is dying. The work that America has, people just living their life every day, happy go lucky, not knowing, man, the things to come. And that, like I said, that Ford Motor company, it saved that city, man. It saved that little town, and a lot of people work there, and that job has a lot of good benefits and everything like that, man. So when them people get laid off, and man, you're gonna see a lot of pandemonium going on out here in these streets, man. You're gonna see these women starting to sell their bodies at a more higher rate. All right, because I'm guaranteeing you, a lot of the women is gonna be the first ones to get chopped off. All right, and you're gonna start seeing certain neighboring cities turning into the new Venezuela, man, pretty soon, because that's what the scripture said was gonna happen, man. In Matthews, it told you it's gonna be famine, it's gonna be pestilence. All these things is gonna come to fruition, man. And the words of the Most High will not go non-void. All right. That was just a little quick lesson I wanted to put out there. So with that, I want to give all praises, glory, worship, and honor to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Wahabakah Kurash Barakatham. To the true and sincere Akim, confusion of faces, Akwaths that's listening. Shalom.